Hello, good afternoon everybody. Welcome to today's cooking demo here at Moley Robotics in Wigmore Street, London. Today we're going to be doing a SHA, Spanish SHA bean stew, and it's one of the healthy nutritional recipes from that collection. And today I'll be showing you how we load the ingredients, prepare the utensils and the pan, and have the area ready for the robotic arm to cook this meal completely from scratch. So today we're going to be on Instagram and YouTube, so if you have any questions, we can have a live chat and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. If there's anything in particular or a bit more technical, then send your question through via our website on our contact us page, and we'll be happy to get back to you with the relevant team with any answers with your questions. So let's go straight into the recipe. We're going to go via the interface and I'll show you how we prep the recipe ready for cooking. Now, we've prepared some of the ingredients just to save a bit of time, so I'll simply load those ingredients on. And I'll also show you how our integrated scale system works. So every single recipe can be measured exactly the same way a chef will be cooking this meal. And this will give you consistent and very high quality meals from the recipe. And we'll go through the whole process and I'll show you how that's done with the scale system. But let's go straight in and start cooking this recipe. So on our interface, you will see the different types of recipes that we have. Now you can filter our menu accordingly in terms of dietary requirements, country of cuisine, type of food you fancy eating, and so on. We have a filtering system that will give you the certain recipes that you filter. And also part of the cooking process is that I'll show you when we go straight into the SHA bean stew. Here we go. So here you got list of ingredients, quantities required of each item, together with equipment which is required as well, which in this instance is going to be a medium pot and a spatula, and that's already in position. And then the last bit of information is nutritional information. Now this is very important because a lot of people nowadays are very wary of the type of foods they're eating, and they want to see what kind of content in terms of carbohydrate, protein, fiber, and sodium, which is your salt level, is in the actual recipe. So this is a very informative system and it tells you all the information you need with regards to the recipe. We also have Get Ingredients. Now, Get Ingredients is an extra service that we provide whereby you can actually send a message to somebody's phone or your own phone and get the ingredients fresh before you want to cook. So you can send a SMS text, you can send a WhatsApp message, or you can even send an email to yourself as well to remind you to get those ingredients. We also have a order ingredients with delivery service where you can register a local delivery company like Ocado, Just Eat, Waitrose, Sainsbury's, and you can actually schedule in a delivery of the ingredients if you can't leave the house, and have those ingredients delivered just before you want to cook. And this service is also very good in terms of saving time. So let's go straight into the meal. So we want to do a robotic cook today. So we start the robotic cook. Now here you see a very diagrammatic view of the whole workstation area for the robotic system to use. And also it's very easy to follow. A very simple step-by-step process in terms of loading the ingredients. Now let's start with the olive oil. So here you've got your olive oil, and you'll notice the LED light on the shelf just has turned on, so it indicates where the olive oil should be. And I'm just going to make sure there's oil in there. Yep, everything's there, oil is in there, and that's ready to go. So I can confirm that's in position and that's done. Next is the brown onions. Now I'll come back to the brown onions because I want to show you how the integrated scale system works. And we'll just jump that for now, but we'll come back to that at the end. Next is the carrot, celery, butternut squash. Well, instead of the butternut squash today, we're going to use red peppers. So we've substituted some of the ingredients. Now you can do this with all the recipes. You can customize recipes. So if there's certain elements of that particular recipe or a certain ingredient that you don't like or you just don't fancy having, or you want to substitute, you can certainly do that within the parameters of the recipe and use that instead. So here we've got the carrot, celery, butternut squash. Well, instead of butternut squash, we've got the peppers and the Molden sea salt. Now the indicator on the shelf has told me that it's recommended to put it in that location. So here we have the ingredients already prepped earlier, and I'll add that to this location here. And I'll confirm. Next is the beans and seaweed, which has already been mixed in. So these are the beans, and location is over here. And that's confirmed. Next will be the actual sauce itself. So this is the stock from the beans, and this will be going in this location over here. Confirm. Next is the shoyu, a bit of vinegar, a bit of rice syrup, and that's in this container here and located at this point on the shelf. Confirm. And then he's asking for some coriander. So coriander is already prepped and weighed, and we'll put this in this location. And confirm that's done. Now let's go back to the brown onions. Now we have an integrated scale system you see at the bottom of the screen, not connected yet, so I'll just turn on the scales. So the scales are just standard scales which are Bluetooth connected to our interface. And you'll notice there at the bottom, it's now activated and it's down at 0. Here's my empty container. Put it on the scales, put it down to 0. Now it's asking for 120 grams of onions, which are small dice, so they've already been diced. And I'm just going to measure in now 120 grams. $132, let's take a little bit out. 129, that's fine, that's okay. It's just a few extra onions, that's fine. It's not going to have a major impact on the recipe. So the LED light is indicated on the shelf, so I'm going to put it on the bottom shelf at that location and confirm that's been done. So there we go, that was it. That was just a very quick preparation of the recipe. It didn't take too long at all. And now we're going to just prepare the equipment, and there's a medium pot, so medium pot's in location. I recommend on the left, and it's there within the actual support bracket, which is fine. That's done. And finally the spatula. Spatula, again, the diagram is very important, making sure the spatula is facing the right way. So here we have the spatula on the number 1 hook, which is on the diagram, and facing outwards. So this is facing outwards from the kitchen. There we go. That was so simple, so simple, and step-by-step guide made it so easy to prepare as well. So let's start cooking. So immediately you'll have the icon which tells you that it's about to confirm the start cooking process, and the robot will start moving immediately. Just have to make sure that the cooking area is free from any unnecessary items, and there's nothing in the area. I can see nothing at all. And also indicates the actual length of the recipe as well, which is going to be 36 minutes. And we are now going to start the recipe. There we go. The robot now is engaged and the process is now started. Now the arm will control the hob as well as doing the cooking. So it will activate the hob, it will turn on the temperature, adjust the temperature, and also the downdraft extractor will be activated during the cooking process as well. This is a Moley hob, an integrated Moley induction hob, and the downdraft is in the middle there, you can just about see, and that will be taking all the smells and the smoke away from the cooking process. Also on the bottom of the interface you'll have an indicator showing you the percentage of the cooking process and how far it's down in terms of percent, and also there's timing on there as well. So if you're in the home, you could be in another part of the house, you could be working from home for example, and you can have this on an app on your phone, and you can clearly see what's going on in the kitchen whilst you started the cooking, and you can plan ahead in terms of making sure you're ready when the recipe is being cooked to have your dinner or your lunch or your breakfast and so on. So there we go. So yeah, so whilst you now watch the whole cooking process, if there's any live questions, please do send them through. We'll have a live chat and we can then answer any queries you have, any questions you have. I'll be more than happy to answer them. So let's jump straight onto YouTube, and already have a few hellos. Thanks for doing this. You're welcome. Hi, Callum67. And let's have a look on Instagram. Nothing in Instagram at the moment, so yep, that's good. So hopefully you guys are all watching now. You can probably hear the extraction that downdraft extractors come on. Now this downdraft extractor can be either filtered, so it'll go through a filter, come out the bottom of the kitchen plinth as fresh air, or you can duct it to an outside wall, so it can be ducted to the outside if you prefer to have that kind of installation. So today's demonstration is on our X-Air model, which is an integrated system within the rest of the kitchen. So this has got a peninsular sort of design, and with the back to wall furniture, wall cupboards and so on. We provide all the furniture as well. So we partner with some of the really nice premium end of the kitchen manufacturers, for example Minotti, and we can provide not only the technology, but we can combine the technology with some premium luxury materials in terms of real wood veneer, high gloss lacquer, and also the mechanisms that come with all the kitchens in terms of the automated servo drive systems, the Blum mechanisms, the push to open systems. We provide everything in terms of all the luxury, the high-end premium finishes you'd expect in a kitchen of this quality. So there the onions have just gone in, and it's sizzling away nicely. You can also activate our voice notification. So each of the processes, each step, you'll get a voice notification as well. So if you just want to hear what's going on in the kitchen, or if you're in the kitchen doing something else and you want to hear what's going on in the background, you can actually listen to each step of the cooking process as well. So this particular dish is part of the SHA wellness cuisine, and it's an energizing, low-calorie stew, and it's packed full of lots of these vegetables, which are going to give you a lot of the vitamins that are required in some nice, healthy meals. And it's really packed with a lot of flavor as well. So as I mentioned earlier, this is our X-Air model, and just behind me to the right, you'll see our B-Air model, which is a back-to-all system. So if you've got a long, narrow galley-type kitchen, that's an ideal solution in terms of still having a robotic system, but against the wall, you'll have all your facilities in terms of your integrated fridge, your dishwasher, and all the other appliances along the one single run, which is a back-to-all system, which we call the B-Air. And just beyond that, we've got the BM module as well, which is again a back-to-wall system, but more compact. So if you're in a very, very tight space, but you want the robotics, but just to have the sink and the dishwasher and just a fridge, we can do a compact version as well. So the actual designs of the kitchens are really dependent on the kind of layout you have or the kind of requirements that you need in terms of your kitchen design. We actually do all the design work here from London in our showroom in Wigmore Street, and we can also offer demos of recipes being cooked as well. So if you want to come down to the showroom, just give us a call or send us an email via the website, and we'll be happy to arrange a showroom demonstration of a recipe being cooked. You can probably choose from a list of recipes, and we'll be more than happy to cook that so you can see exactly how it works, and you can even have a go at programming the system and loading the recipes and prepping even, and really get hands-on and get involved in how this system works. Behind me to my left is the chef's table. Now that's very, very popular because it's a standalone system. Now this can be integrated into an existing kitchen, and all you need is a space of about 1,030 width and 1.3 meters depth. So it's a very small space, and that compact chef's table is a very, very popular system if you just want to integrate that into an existing kitchen, and it also can be done. So you don't necessarily have to have a whole new kitchen refurbished. If you want the robotics, you can have the robotics still on our chef's table, and it's a standalone system. The actual power supply, there's no special requirements in terms of power supply. It's just a plug-in 220 volt into the wall, and you're good to go. That's all you need. In terms of the plug-in system and the energy required and so on, because it's a plug-in system, it's just like a normal appliance. Say, for example, an hour's worth of use only really uses 120 watts of energy, which is very, very low. It's the same as any other appliance in the kitchen, like a coffee maker or a microwave, or even it's the same sort of power as a PC system. So it's very energy efficient as well. Not only is it energy efficient, but it's also efficient in terms of only using the hob on certain recipes when required. For example, we can cook pasta in parallel, the sauce on one side and the pasta on the other. So normally when you cook, you turn all the hob on, you turn the water on straight away. You may start cooking the pasta, the water may still be carrying on, it might be cooking further than it's actually needed. The robotic arm is trained and programmed to actually turn off the water, so you're not unnecessarily using up energy. So it's very energy efficient in those sort of in that way as well. So there's the peppers and celery and everything that's gone in, which is great. It smells really good as well, by the way, guys. Let's jump on, see if there's any further questions coming through.
Take spatula.
There you go, you probably heard that in the background. So notification has just been turned on, and it's telling me that it's taken a spatula and it's doing the next part of the cooking process.
Stir one.
Jojo J3I1I, hi, thank you for joining. Not only has it got a voice notification, but there's also a voice command as well. So you can actually command some of the recipes by voice in terms of selecting a recipe, choosing, and so on. So you can actually voice control our interface as well.
Stir two.
So, just to give you a bit of a background on the robotic system itself, we invented this in 2014, so a lot of R&D for the last 10, 11 years. And as soon as we reached the point where the product was ready, we got our CE certification. So the product now is CE marked for UK and Europe, and it's currently available ex-works to the Far East and to the US as well. So it's now ready, available for the market. We do these residential models here, but we also do commercial as well. So if you've got any commercial requests, send them through and I'll get the commercial team to get back to you.
Tip beans.
So as you can imagine, with this kind of system, the safety requirements, the safety directives are quite intense. And we have all the ISO, the EN-ISO safety marks in place in terms of the machinery directive, the electromagnet compatibility directive, and also the safety of machinery in terms of the electrical equipment as well. So all the general requirements, all the general principles of design, the robot and the robotic devices, all the safety requirements are in place. So we've met all the actual directives for the safety of our system, and also the robotics itself in terms of the collaborative robotic system. Everything is in place and we've got a full CE mark on our product. The arm itself is already tested for a minimum of 35,000 hours. So basically that's almost like in a normal residential environment. That's like 10 years of use without having any issues with the arm at all. That's how heavily it's been tested, and it's very, very robust in that sense. So as I mentioned, we've got quite a few recipes in our library. We've got about 50 recipes from around the world. We've got worldwide cuisines from Spain's paella, Thailand's tom yum, India's lamb keema. We've got a vegetarian collection as well. We've got tasty plant-based dishes for different types of meals. We've also got a vegan collection, and this is a very creative and flavorful set of recipes, free from any animal products, and also low calorie, like this one here, for example. So meals that are under 400 calories, and which includes vegetarian, vegan, meat, and lots of fish options as well.
Stir to.
And as I mentioned, the recipes are from well-known chefs as well. So we've collaborated with some really, really good quality chefs. Some you may already know, like Andrew Clark. He developed our smoked haddock chowder recipe. We've got Atou Sefer, which is a super joe. It's a lovely Persian dish, and that's been added to our recipe library. And also Tim Anderson, one of the runner-ups for the Master Chef in the UK here. And we've got a kimchi and smoked sausage spaghetti recipe, really tasty recipe. We also got Toi Dim Pham from Vietnam, and we got some stir-fried tamarind chicken. We got sweet and sour prawns. We've got steak and asparagus Vietnamese stir-fry. Very interesting stir-fry, and that's in our recipe library for you to enjoy. We've also got Nick Giovanni, a very famous Italian stroke American chef, and we've got a spicy mezcal rigatoni recipe. Now he actually came into our showroom, and we did a sort of like we had a bit of fun. We did a taste test, and his recipe that he cooked, and also his recipe which was then cooked by the robotic system. We presented both these dishes, and frankly, he couldn't actually tell the difference. So this is how accurate the robotic system will cook in terms of cooking exactly the same way as a professional chef. We've also had Andreas Caminada. He's a very famous Swiss chef, and we made a Swiss macaroni with mince, and that was a very nice recipe to have. And we also had Uncle Roger. He's a YouTuber and a blogger and a comedian, but also a very good chef. And we had fun doing, we had egg fried rice, and we had fun. And lots of these recipes that I've just described is on the YouTube channel and Instagram. But if you go onto the YouTube, go onto the history of all the different recipes that we've cooked over the year, you'll see all these recipes on YouTube. You can see them, how I've prepared from start to finish, and how the robotic arm cooks these meals. So all the information is there on YouTube to see, and Instagram. So on the indicator, on the interface, if we go back to the interface, I'll show you how we are doing in terms of the timing. So just at the bottom, you will see the indicator, as I mentioned earlier, which is our percentage indicator. Now we are 46% all the way through, so we're almost halfway through the recipe. It smells absolutely stunning. Smells really good. It's the kind of recipe you get presented in a restaurant. It's looks so nice. So here at the bottom you've got 47%. You've also got the time indicated as well. So it's a 36-minute recipe. We're 17 minutes in, so we're almost halfway through. Also, you can see what it's about to do next, which is going to be a stir. So we have a flagging system. So we have a continuous flagging system. You'll see each step, and you'll see that it's going to be doing the next stir very, very shortly. Okay, let's just pop on to see if there's any questions come through. You can also visit us here in the showroom, so if you want to discuss any of your design requirements, and we can do a complimentary demo, a recipe demo as well, you're more than welcome to come to the showroom. So we are parallel to Oxford Street in central London. We're open Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. So please do come in and have a look. Even if you just want to come and have a look at how the system works, feel free, and we'll show you. We cook about 2 to 3 different recipes every day. It's part of the whole process and making sure the system is running as it should. And touch wood, we've had no problems since. And we've been doing this for over a year now, and every single recipe's turned out exactly the way it should. You can also add your own recipes to the library. So if you've got a family traditional recipe that you want to add to the library, which can just be for yourself, or if you want, with your permission, we can share it around the world as well, then send all the details through. Send a little workflow diagram, maybe a list of all the ingredients, and maybe even a video. And our in-house chef, James, will actually cook the meal. And based around the movements of the robotic arm, he'll make all his notes and create a data for our engineers. Our engineers will then load all the algorithms and do the testing on their side. And within about 3 to 4 hours, you can potentially have your recipe in the library to be shared around the world. So it's something that a lot of people don't realize, that all these family favorite traditional recipes handed down from generations simply get lost and never get used at, young families, and the youngsters don't really cook those sort of meals. But if they know that the meal and the recipe and there's a story behind the recipe and it's a family traditional recipe, it's so unique to actually have that in the library and for people to enjoy from generation to generation. So, and it's in the system for life as well. So it's a wonderful feature to have as part of your recipe library. I'll just give you an example. James, our chef, asked for a recipe that I cook regularly, and my daughters, they love lamb keema. I nearly make it all the time. Every other weekend I'm making lamb keema. So I gave the information. I did a video of myself cooking this meal, and gave them a list of ingredients. And within a few hours, now my lamb keema recipe, which was actually handed down from my grandfather to my dad, now to me, is now in the recipe library, which is absolutely amazing. And I told my dad that I did this, and he was super proud. And he goes, wow, that's amazing to have a recipe to be shared with many, many people to enjoy. Right, let's see if there's any further questions coming through. A lot of people just saying hi. Hi, everybody. Thank you all for joining. I hope you're enjoying this recipe demonstration so far. I will show you the final result. So I'll show you, and I'll taste it in front of you. So I'll give you my honest opinion on the recipe. But so far, it smells great. And this is, again, one of the super healthy ones. I like eating the SHA recipes. It's very high in nutrition, very low in calorie. It's particularly good if you're in some sort of weight management program, or if you have a specific dietary requirement. If there's anything from you've received from the doctors saying that you have to have a special type of diet. Certainly these kind of recipes from the SHA cuisine are very, very helpful in maintaining a healthy diet. Now, on the health side, we've looked at all the different types of research that's been done around the world, because one of the UN's directives by 2030, they want to reduce malnutrition around the world. So obviously by cooking at home, in various ways is very healthy. People know that. But having a system that can actually assist in cooking at home more regularly is another factor. So we've looked at lots of research that's been done, especially the one in North Carolina in Chapel Hill. And from their studies, they've actually concluded that cooking regularly from home, as opposed to restaurant meals and takeouts and delivery service food and so on, can actually add 10 to 11 years to your life and increase your longevity. So that's really quite interesting in terms of the difference it makes just from cooking fresh from home. It can also reduce cancer by about 6%. It can reduce diabetes by 48%, and also other kidney diseases by almost 61%. So that's a major impact on your health. And at the end of the day, as we all get older, who doesn't want to live longer? So if there's anything that can help us to live longer and more healthier, there's certainly having, cooking from home, and even having a system like this to help you cook from home is a massive, massive benefit. Also on the cost side, so let me give you an example of a family of 4 here in the UK. Now, a family of 4 who regularly order from takeaways and regularly eat out and not cook from home can spend up to about £40,000 a year, can you believe? Now, we've done a little bit of a cost analysis on, say, example, we took a spaghetti bolognese, for example. A spaghetti bolognese in a good restaurant, a good takeaway outlet, or a good food service provider can cost roughly about £15 to £18. Now, the same amount of ingredients, just bought fresh by yourself from cook at home, actually only cost between £5 to £6. So that's a significant amount of saving there. And obviously you can also, you're in control of what's going in your recipe in terms of the salt and the sugar levels and lots of other types of the ingredients. But having the fresh ingredients is a major, major benefit. And we also know that with takeaways and restaurants and so on, they put preservatives, they freeze their food. Sometimes they're just simply reheating and serving, and that's not healthy. But this is a much, much more healthier way of eating. So we're 70% of the way through of the recipe of our lovely SHA bean stew. It smelled absolutely great, and I can't wait to try this for you guys. And let's have a look to see if there's any further questions. So, got a question in from Sravia Koka on Instagram. Any plans to mechanize the ingredients prep process as well, especially veggies, peel, chop, and meat cleanup, dicing? No imminent plans for mechanizing the ingredient prep, because a lot of the companies now deliver the ingredients already prepped. So if you go through a delivery service, you can request diced onions, diced carrots, and so on and so on. You can actually request the way you want the ingredients to be delivered. So they just simply come, take them out of the packet, load onto your container, and start cooking. The machine, because it's in an open environment, cannot use a knife, and I don't think there's any robotic arm in the world that can use a knife safely in this kind of environment. If it can, it's probably in a cage, it's probably in a box, it's probably in a glass screen, you probably can't even touch it, and it's just not user-friendly for a domestic residential kitchen. So answer to that question is no plans, but if things change in the future, then we'll definitely look at how we can prep ingredients. We could even consider using a blender. You can get machines that go into a system and they can dice onions or whatever. But things like that is probably in the future, and it's not something we are looking at the moment. To be honest with you, actually, I find it quite therapeutic preparing and chopping. I think that's quite an interesting part, because you can cut it the way you want it, you can prep it the way you want it. You got a bit of extra care when you're prepping the ingredients. They say a recipe tastes as good as you prepare it. You know, you put your love and effort and put a bit of care and attention to prepping the ingredients. Knowing that, the meal tastes even better. So psychologically, actually preparing these ingredients, I think, is a good thing. And also, when you're preparing these ingredients, you're learning about different recipes from around the world. So not only is it entertaining to watch something like this, but it's highly educational, because we've got Persian recipes, we've got Indian recipes, we've got Italian, we've got Spanish. We've got so many recipes in our library from around the world that you wouldn't even consider. But if you're prepping them, you're learning about the recipe, you're learning what goes in, how much goes in, and so on. So this is cooking for you at the same time, but you're also learning at the same time as well, which I think, you know, knowledge is key. Knowledge is king at the end of the day, and it's good to know about other recipes from around the world. Thanks for clarifying, Sravia Koka. You're welcome. Thank you. So we're 80% of the way through the recipe cooking process, and it should be doing some of the final stirs. And all that's left is the coriander and the shoyu, which is soy sauce, and the rice syrup that will be going in towards the end to give that final kick of flavor, and that will be going in shortly, and then I'll be showing you the final result, and I'll also be tasting this recipe, so I'll give you my opinion.
Stir.
Also, some of the frequently asked questions we do get is, for example, what if a child or a pet jumps into the kitchen, or some potential accident can happen? We do have a safety button. I don't know if you can just about see on the bottom left of your screens, there is a red safety kill switch, safety button. So if anything was to happen, you can immediately press the button and it will deactivate the whole area. The power will stop, the robotic arm will stop, everything will freeze instantly. And once your environment is safe, you can then unlock and reactivate the whole cooking process, and it will continue from where it left off. So it won't affect the rest of the cooking process. It will just simply continue back to what it was doing. And that's part of the safety requirements of the CE mark, the iOS safety standards. So we have that on every single model. So we have the kill switch normally is located at the front and on the front of the B-Air, and also the front of the chef's table. You can just about probably see the little red safety buttons on there as well. The lead time for orders is currently about 4 to 6 months lead time. So production time and so on is a little bit longer than like a normal premium kitchen because of obviously the production of the robotic system and the software and everything that goes underneath in terms of the support frame and so on. Everything is literally made to order. Now the cost of our systems starts from 89,000 for a standalone system, can go up to 100, 120, 100. Depends on the architecture of the kitchen. Now the price of it is very similar and in line with premium kitchens here in Wigmore Street. This is the heart of the kitchen industry. So to give you an idea, this kitchen, the B-Air model here, is roughly about 95,000 with the high gloss finish. Now we actually gave this plan to all the kitchens in the area here, and we asked for a very similar finish, high gloss finish with high quality appliances integrated in the kitchen, and they're all coming back with a very similar price between 80 to 110,000. So obviously you can see the difference here is that our robotic kitchen, for the same price as a premium kitchen with a high quality finish, includes the robotic system as well. But if you are interested, do get in touch. We are doing early adopter discounts as well, so we are flexible, and we can certainly discuss the pricing in more detail. It's a new product. We only opened our showroom in December 2023. We want to create brand awareness. We really want to get the product out there in as many places as possible. So we are really open to early adopter discounts, and get in touch, and we'll certainly can discuss that in more detail. We can have a design meeting, and we can do a design presentation here in the showroom, and we can also go through a whole demonstration of a recipe being cooked for you as well. So another frequently asked question, is the kitchen available in the US? Yes, it is. So even though we CE mark for the UK and the European market, we can actually supply the US and the Far East as ex-works,
Turn the hob off.
which means that you'll be responsible for the shipping and the air freight. But we can support you on that side. We've got all the supporting documents in terms of customs and all the duties that you need to pay for that. But we'll supply you with all the relevant documentation for that, but we can supply to the US as well. So you probably just heard
Tip coriander.
in the background that the last action is about to be performed, which is going to be the tipping of the coriander. There might be a final stir, and the recipe will be finished. So here it all goes in. Now all these movements, all these very subtle movements like the tapping, the scraping, is exactly what the chef would have been doing whilst cooking this meal. So we make sure the robotic arm replicates exactly the same kind of movements the chef does. So not only will the meal be consistent because it's measured, but the actual final result is as it should be in the same way the chef would be preparing this meal. Here we go, final stir, and we're 99%, so just a few more seconds left, and this is going to be ready, and I'll show you guys the final result. I'll just get my bowl ready, and I'll grab a spoon here as well, ready to take out and show you. And I'm just going to go and grab a spoon so I can do a taste as well. Just bear with me a second.
Recipe cooking finished.
There we go, recipe cooking finished. Great. Really looking forward to tasting this. Right, here we go. Let me show you guys the result. Smells really good. There you go. Here you see. There we go. Can you see? I hope you can see that very clearly. Beautiful. You can see the coriander. You can see the peppers. You can see the beans, the celery, mixed in lovely. Got a bit of the broth from the stew as well. So I'm going to taste this and tell you guys exactly how it tastes. There we go. Just grab a bit of this. Wow. Wow, that's really, really nice. Okay, I'm just going to quickly pop on, see if there's any further questions. Nothing on there. Question from Grith. Some people have too much money. At the end of the day, Grith, you know, with a new product, there is an element of cost, but the cost of these sort of products will come down. As they become more and more popular, in production increases, prices automatically will come down. So bear with us, you know, do get in touch with us in the future, and by that time hopefully the price will be a bit lower, but I don't think it's too much money because the return on the investment compared to, I'm not sure how regularly you have takeaways and eat out and so on, but based on a family of 4, the return on investment is actually within a couple of years, so it's actually quite a good investment to have. And not only that, the price is in line with premium kitchens anyway, so really you're getting something already included in the price of current premium kitchens. So cost-wise, I think it's perfectly priced at the moment, but like with anything, it's a new product. Over the years, prices will always change, so stay tuned. So just like to thank everybody for joining today. Hope you enjoyed the cooking show, and I'll see you in a few weeks' time for a new recipe. And in the meantime, have a lovely weekend. Thank you.